What if the crow, the bird you see every single day, is actually the most dangerous witness to human history? You think they're just scavengers, but they've been studying us, recording our mistakes, and waiting for a moment that science is too afraid to predict. Why are crows really here, and what happens to the world the second they decide to stop watching? Welcome to Why Saga, where we reveal the terrifying, untold truth about To understand the crow, we must first unlearn everything we have been told. In the United States, we often dismiss the crow as a common nuisance, a black speck in the sky, or a harbinger of Gothic superstition. But strip away the folklore, and you are left with one of the most sophisticated biological puzzles on the planet. Why did they come? The answer lies buried in millions of years of evolutionary history. Crows, of the genus Corvus, are not just birds. They are nature's ultimate engineers of survival. They emerged as a direct response to a changing earth, filling a vacuum that no other species could manage. When the megafauna of the ancient world began to dwindle, the earth was choking on its own decay. Nature needed a cleanup crew that was smart enough to adapt, fast enough to cover vast distances, and resilient enough to thrive in the harshest climate. That is where the crow stepped in. Think about the physiology of these creatures. Their bones are pneumatic, filled with air pockets that make them light enough to dominate the skies for hours, yet structurally reinforced to withstand the pressure of high-altitude wind. A crow can fly for miles without flapping a single wing, using thermals like a silent black glider. But it is their brains that truly terrify science. They have a neuronal density in their forebrain that rivals that of primates. They don't just react to the world, they map it. In the United States, from the dense forests of the Pacific Northwest to the urban sprawls of New York City, crows have mastered the art of living alongside humans without being tamed by us. They watch us, they learn our schedule, they know when the trash bins are open, and they know which cars are likely to hit prey on the highway, effectively using our infrastructure to feed themselves. But here is the question that haunts researchers. How much do they know about us? A crow can recognize individual human faces and remember them for years. If you treat a crow with kindness, it remembers. If you threaten it, it marks you as an enemy and communicates that warning to its entire murder. A group of crows that functions with the collective intelligence of a small army. They aren't just birds, they are a network. Consider their hydration and endurance. A crow can survive for days without water by extracting moisture from the flesh of the food it scavenges. They are biological machines optimized for the end of the world. If the food chain collapsed tomorrow, the crow wouldn't just survive, it would thrive. They are the ultimate contingency plan of the natural world. Their internal architecture is a marvel of biological engineering. Their feathers are coated in structural color, microscopic textures that bend light to create that iridescent sheen you see in the sun. This isn't just for aesthetics, it's for camouflage and communication. Their vocal range is vast, capable of mimicking sounds from human speech to the mechanical whir of city traffic. But why the obsession with their presence? Why do they appear at our window? It is not a curse, it is a biological assessment. They are the scouts. They are constantly measuring the environment, looking for shifts in the ecosystem. When a crow gathers in massive numbers, it is often a sign of a shift in the local climate or the arrival of a new predator. They are the living thermometers of our planet. In this series, we will dissect their anatomy from the beak that can crush hard shells to the talons that can grip branches in hurricane-force winds. We will explore how their intelligence, which allows them to use tools and solve multi-step puzzles, actually mirrors our own development. We are just beginning to scratch the surface. As we move into the next segments, we will dive deeper into the science of their murder dynamics, their absolute necessity in the global food cycle, and the terrifying reality of what a world without them would actually look like. If you have ever felt like a murder of crows is watching you, you are not being paranoid. You are being studied. In the scientific community, a group of crows is famously called a murder. While the term sounds macabre, it is scientifically accurate because these birds function as a highly efficient militarized intelligence unit. They don't just flock together for warmth, they gather to share data. When a crow discovers a threat, a cat, a hawk, or even a human who has acted aggressively, it doesn't just flee. It broadcasts the specific visual signature of that threat to the entire group. This is where the terrifying reality of their memory comes into play. Experiments conducted in major universities have proven that crows can pass on information about a dangerous human to their offspring. A crow that has never seen you before might still dive bomb you or sound the alarm because its parents, or its neighbors, uploaded your face into their collective memory bank. But how do they process this without a central brain? It is a hive mind. They use a complex series of vocalizations, clicks, rattles, and mimicry that go far beyond basic communication. Research suggests they have regional dialects. A crow from the harsh streets of Chicago doesn't sound like a crow from the quiet woods of Maine. They are adapting their language to their environment, optimizing their survival in real time. Let's talk about their physical resilience, which defies biological logic. You asked how long a crow can go without water or food. While a human might succumb to dehydration in 3 days, a crow has a hyper-efficient metabolic system. Because they are opportunistic scavengers, they have developed the ability to store energy in specialized crop sacks. When food is scarce, they can survive on fat reserves and moisture extracted from the most unlikely sources. Even rotting vegetation or dew trapped in deep crevices, they are built for famine. Their wingspan and flight endurance are equally legendary. A crow can remain airborne for hours, effortlessly riding thermal updrafts that would exhaust a lesser bird. They don't just fly, they navigate. They have an internal compass that utilizes the Earth's magnetic field, a sense so precise that they can migrate hundreds of miles and return to the exact same nesting spot year after year. Inside their skull, their brain is a masterclass of evolution. Their forebrain, or the nidipallium, is densely packed with neurons. If you were to scale that density to a human size, it would dwarf our own processing power in terms of rapid-fire problem-solving. We have seen them use tools, taking a twig, stripping it of leaves to create a hook, and using it to extract larvae from deep bark. They don't just happen upon this, they observe, they trial, they error, and they teach. This brings us to the core of the mystery. If they are this intelligent, why do they remain in the shadow? Why don't they build civilizations? The answer lies in their specialized ecological niche. They don't need to build, they exploit. They are the ultimate observers of human civilization. They watch us build our skyscrapers, our roads, and our digital empire. They observe the debris we leave behind, our waste, our discarded technology, our mistakes. They are effectively the garbage men of the biosphere, and in doing so, they have become the most knowledgeable creatures on Earth regarding human habits. As we move forward, we have to address the physiological extremes, the skeletal structure that allows them to withstand impacts that would shatter a lesser bird's bones, and the nervous system that processes sensory input faster than we can. They see the world in a spectrum that includes ultraviolet light, meaning they see colors and patterns on our clothes, our buildings, and even each other that are completely invisible to the human eye. To a crow, the world is glowing with data that we are blind to. Are you beginning to see? They aren't just birds, they are the eyes of the environment. And as we dig into the next part, we will explore the why behind their survival, the dark reality of what would happen to the world's ecosystems if these silent watchers suddenly vanished. The collapse would be faster than you could imagine. To truly appreciate the crow, we must strip away the feathers and look at the biological machinery that makes them nearly invincible. Their skeleton is a masterpiece of engineering. The bones of a crow are pneumatic. They are hollow, but reinforced with internal struts that look like the support beams of a skyscraper. This makes them incredibly lightweight for flight, yet strong enough to absorb the shock of a high-speed dive. If you were to compare a crow's skeletal density to that of a human, you would realize that they are built for agility and endurance that our species can only mimic with technology. You asked about their endurance regarding food and water. This is where their scavenger label becomes an understatement. A crow can go for extended periods without what we would consider a full meal. Because they are opportunistic, they have evolved a multi-stage digestive tract that allows them to extract every single calorie from the most decomposed matter. They possess a crop, an expandable pouch in the esophagus where they can store food to be digested later. This means they don't have to hunt every hour. They can gorge themselves on a find and then go into a state of metabolic standby. Regarding water, they are masters of moisture retention. In environments where surface water is non-existent, they tap into the hydration stored in the tissues of the prey they find. More impressively, their kidneys are highly efficient at concentrating waste, meaning they lose almost zero hydration through excretion. They are the ultimate survivalists of the animal kingdom. Now, let's talk about the all-seeing nature of the crow. Their eyes are not like ours. They possess a wider field of vision, and their ability to process ultraviolet UV light changes everything. Imagine looking at a city street and seeing it not just as concrete and steel, but as a map of UV reflective patterns. Things we cannot see. They use this to detect food sources that are hidden from us and likely to communicate with each other in ways that are invisible to the naked eye. When a crow sits on a branch and stares at you, it isn't just looking at your face. It is likely scanning the UV markers on your skin and clothing, identifying you as a threat or a potential source of resources. Their nervous system is just as advanced. Their reaction time is roughly 2.5 times faster than that of a human. If you try to swat a crow, they perceive your movement as if it were happening in slow motion. This is why they are rarely caught off guard. They are constantly processing sensory input, creating a live map of their surroundings. This is why you never see a crow panicked. They are always calm, calculated, and precise. But this brings us back to the horror of their existence. What if they are bored? We know they play. We have seen them use snow-covered roofs as slides, seemingly just for the fun of it. We have seen them solve multi-step puzzles in laboratory settings that require a level of abstract thinking previously thought to be exclusive to humans or great apes. They are capable of planning for the future, storing food not just for the next hour, but for the next season. They understand the concept of if-then. If I do this, that will happen. They teach their young, passing down knowledge across generations. This is not instinct, this is culture. They have a society, and they are documenting our every move. As we push further into this investigation, we have to ask ourselves, are they just watching us, or are they waiting for us to make a mistake? Because if the world ever enters a state of total collapse, the crow is the only creature on this planet that has the knowledge, the network, and the resilience to take over. We are just beginning to understand the depth of their influence. In the next segment, we will dive into the anatomy of the murder and their group structure, and why their sudden absence would trigger an environmental apocalypse that would make a plague look like a minor inconvenience. If you still view the crow as a mere scavenger, you are missing the most critical aspect of their existence. They are the immune system of the planet. Let's confront a terrifying hypothesis. What happens to Earth if the crow were to suddenly vanish? We tend to think of the world as a self-cleaning machine. It isn't. It relies on a delicate balance of predators, decomposers, and scavengers. The crow occupies the highest level of that hierarchy. They are the rapid response team for biological waste. Every day across the United States and the globe, millions of small animals perish due to disease, accidents, or environmental stress. Without the crow, this organic matter would not just sit there. It would become a breeding ground for pathogens that could easily leap the species barrier. In a world without crows, the explosion of rot and disease would be exponential. Within weeks, urban centers would be overwhelmed by the stench of decaying matter. The insect population, flies, maggots, and bacteria-carrying pests, would skyrocket, feeding on the unmanaged waste that the crows once efficiently recycled. The cleanup crew isn't just cleaning, they are preventing a silent plague. But their role goes deeper than sanitation. They are the regulators of the seed bank. Crows are known to cache, or hide, thousands of seeds and nuts across their territory. They often forget where they hide them, effectively acting as the world's most prolific foresters. They plant millions of trees annually, shaping the very landscape of our wilderness. Without them, the natural reforestation of our continents would grind to a halt. Now consider the psychological impact of their murder. A murder of crows is not a random group. It is a complex hierarchical society. They have leaders, they have scouts, and they have teachers. They observe human activity with a cold analytical precision. When they gather in the thousands, a phenomenon often referred to as a crow roost, they are doing more than resting. They are exchanging information. Think of it as a biological database update. If one crow has learned a new way to access a food source or has identified a new human threat, that information spreads through the entire roost within a single night. This brings us to the horror element you asked for. We often fear what we cannot control. We cannot control the crows. We cannot bribe them, we cannot trick them, and we cannot hide from them. They exist in our spaces. They utilize our infrastructure, yet they remain fundamentally other. They are the ultimate surveillance state, but they are not working for us. They are working for the ecosystem. Their skeletal architecture, which we discussed earlier, allows them to endure extreme environmental shifts. While humans build bunkers, the crow has already adapted to the end of the world. They don't need electricity, they don't need a supply chain, and they don't need us. Their independence is what makes them truly dangerous to our sense of mastery over nature. As we look at their anatomy from beak to toe, consider their talons. Instruments of precision that can grip, tear, and manipulate objects with surgical accuracy. Their beak is not just a tool for feeding, it is a sensory organ capable of detecting subtle vibrations in the ground or the texture of the materials they use to build their nests. They are sensory giants living in a world of limited human perception. We are reaching the final stages of our deep dive. You have asked about the limits of their survival, their resilience, and their true nature. We have established that they are observers, engineers, and survivors. But the most important question remains: what are they waiting for? As we move toward the final segment of our investigation, we will synthesize everything we have learned to answer the ultimate, unsettling question about the crow's true place in the future of our planet. The pieces are falling into place, and the picture they form is one that most people are not ready to face. Are you prepared to look at the crow and see the future of the world? We have dissected the crow from the microscopic structure of their feathers to the hive-mind intelligence that guides their murder. We have explored their role as the planet's immune system and their terrifying adaptability. Now, it is time to confront the final, unsettling reality. The crow is not just an observer of human history, it is the potential architect of what comes next. Look around you. In every city, from the concrete jungles of America to the rural farmlands, the crow is there. They are the only species that has successfully integrated into our civilization while maintaining complete independence from it. They have learned our patterns, bypassed our security, and mapped our weaknesses. They are the most successful animal on the planet because they didn't just survive the human era. They learned how to profit from it. But what happens when the human era begins to wane? We see the signs. The climate is shifting, resources are becoming scarce, and our complex systems are becoming more fragile by the day. We rely on electricity, global supply chains, and digital communication. The crow relies on none of these. If the power grids were to go dark tomorrow, the crow would not skip a beat. They don't need a map to find food, and they don't need technology to communicate. They possess an internal biological network that is far more resilient than any server farm we have ever built. Consider their waiting game. For thousands of years, they have been watching us build, destroy, and repeat. They have witnessed our wars, our plague, and our hubris. They know our limitations better than we know ourselves. When you see a group of crows sitting silently on a power line, watching you, it is not a coincidence. It is an assessment. They are calculating the endurance of our civilization, checking our vulnerabilities, and preparing for a world where they are no longer the scavengers, but the master. Their anatomy, their intelligence, and their collective behavior all point to a singular conclusion. They are built for the aftermath. Their hollow, reinforced bones are designed for extreme conditions. Their beak is the perfect tool for a world without refined goods. Their brain is a living computer that thrives on complexity. They are the ultimate contingency plan of nature. The horror is not that they will attack us. The horror is that they are waiting for us to fade away. They are the silent sentinels of the apocalypse. When the noise of our industry finally dies down, the world will not fall into silence. It will be filled with the sound of the crow. They will be the ones picking through the remnants of our cities, utilizing the ruins of our structures, and thriving in the world that we could not maintain. We have spent our time on this planet trying to master nature, while the crow has spent its time mastering us. They are the silent inheritors of the earth. They don't need to conquer, they only need to wait. And as we conclude this investigation, you must ask yourself, every time you hear a crow call, is it just a bird? Or is it a countdown? The truth is finally out. You have seen the anatomy, the history, and the terrifying potential of the crow. The next time you look out your window and see that black silhouette against the sky, you will know exactly what you are looking at. You are not looking at a bird. You are looking at the future. Welcome to the world of the crow. The watch is over. If you want to watch more mysterious and terrifying stories like this, please subscribe to our channel, Why Saga.